Alright, guys, it is time for the quarterfinals of GSL vs. World. That's right, we just cast the quarterfinals. This is the semi-final up here in the top left, going for it. Is that a 12 ball? Oh my! Oh, he's such a cheeky boy this year, I swear, 2019. He's such a cheeky boy. The Finnish phenom apparently is really good at golf. Cyril. He like knows how to shoot guns and stuff as well. You guys see his BlizzCon video? He goes out like in the woods with a rifle, like hunting birds or some shit with his dad. I'm like, what a badass. Down here in the bottom right. It's classic. He's going for the filthy cannon rush. Oh my god. So he's going for the cannon rush where you go for the really fast robo. So you're like, oh, this is just a normal probe scout. It's totally normal. This is gonna get really weird. This is gonna get really weird. So he's gonna come in and be like, oh, I'm definitely not cannon rushing. He's like, oh shit, abandoned plan, not gonna work. Cyril should send these last two lings to deal with that probe, I believe. You'd be crazy to go for the cannon rush in this scenario. Sees that there's no gas, confirms that, and he's gonna try to get the hell out of there. Now behind this, he's building a zealot, he's building a core. Yeah, he's gotta go second gas. It's gonna be so awkward getting down to his natural that he has to go fast Stargate. He has to put 3 workers on gas immediately. I don't know, like the thing is, Cyril's position's really bad as well, guys. He cut a ton of workers to get these Zerglings out, and he's not really going to achieve anything other than sending these probes home. I like that he sent those Zerglings on that probe. He can try to headbutt through the Zealot, and he will beat it, but the second Zealot would be out in time quite easily, so... Yeah, let's see. Classic, I think he'll go straight Stargate. 3 on gas immediately. He even pulls off minerals a little bit to do it. He's trying to keep that probe alive, but there's no way. For those of you who don't know, if you click 1 slow Zergling on a probe, it will never catch it unless they miss micro the probe. But 2 Zerglings will, given enough time, usually about 2/3 of a map, but enough time, they will always catch that probe and finish it off. Because they kind of pair up their attacks and there's not enough shield regen time to match their damage output. Unless they do some goddamn wizardry. And I don't think that's reliably possible. So Stargate goes down, we've got an Adept out, 2 Chads gonna stand guard duty. Gary, Jeff, and over here we have... I'm trying to think of the most trailer trash name we could possibly come up with. Shanae, Shanarin, or something like some name that's not even a name, you know, like Clarice Bell or some shit like that. I don't know. There's a lot of good ones. They're gonna come up and do some counter pressure, but Cyril's done pretty good. 3 queens. He's actually taken gas now, so he's gonna go ling speed before 3rd base. So he shouldn't be able to get too punished. Dark and Sue usually like to delay that gas a bit more, go for the faster 3rd hatch. But I would love Classic to just hang around with the Adept and deny the 3rd as long as possible. You know ling speed's gonna be miles away. And the Adept Shade, yeah, just making sure that Cyril's building a lot of Zerglings right now. Slows down the workers, Zealots go home, and the Adept hangs out to deny the 3rd. Lovely play by Classic. Gets a Phoenix out, is gonna deny the Overlord, if it can find it. Overlord's having a good hide. Adept does get out of there. She says, not too many Zerglings coming my way. Ling speed could be done soon anyway. Let's give him the 3rd. Spore Crawler in the main already. Phoenix does find that. Oracle's on the way. 3rd Nexus is up at a pretty good time here. So Classics, you know, he's recovering and he's actually going to wall off the front immediately and say, you know what? Let's just go straight for the wall with my 3rd and 4th gate, or might be a gate and a robo, in fact. We'll see. I don't know. Is the stats build the standard in this for the other Protoss at the moment in Korea? I have no idea. There's a 2nd Oracle on the way. Looks pretty similar. Ling's coming in. Ling speed's almost done. Cyril's got that 3rd on the way. He's down about 2 workers. Not a big deal. He's got a 4th queen, a 5th queen on the way, and he can drone that 3rd up real quick when he gets to the point where he wants to. Ling speed's almost done. 3rd base going to be going down in the near future, and indeed it was. Yeah, going up to 3 gates and a robo. So. Third Nexus does go down though, so this is not the stats build. Even though it's a well-timed robo and stuff, you'd need those gases if you want to do the sentry push. So it's just going to be a typical kind of 3 Oracle Phoenix build. 2 Oracle Phoenix, in fact. It's not building a 3rd one. This is a Phoenix up here. It's going to look for some damage on that base. We've got a Spore, 2 queens. A Spore, 2 queens. Remember, it was Home Story Cup where Cyril got punished by that build. Ooh, Lings actually get an Adept. Many of them escape, heavily wounded. Well done. Another Overlord does get found. Cyril not going to be able to get much scouting. These Oracles biding their time. I reckon they just kill that Spore Crawler and go for the lava. I would not be surprised. So 2 queens coming over. He's transferring drones a little bit early. Only 1 Spore and a queen in the main. Few angles where Serral could get abused from. You also notice, I feel like he could always have an Overlord there and an Overlord here. I feel like, in general, I just wish they would have a little bit more vision. So, because if you see, like, the Oracles here, you know, you'd know to stack your queens on your main and your third. But instead, he's got wizard vision. He pulls his queen up at the perfect time anyway, because his name's Serral. He can see into the goddamn future. Notice he targets the Spore Crawler onto the Oracle. The Phoenix there, of course, wanted to tank the damage. It comes in first, disables a queen and says, hey, shoot me. But Serral, too good for that. Oh! Oh! Punished! Punished! So I was telling you guys how I actually think the edge of the map here might be closer to that than the edge of the map down here to there. I'm not 100% sure. Be cool if someone tested it. But I do feel like when I put like Spore Crawlers there, Prisms can't get past. Down here, I feel like maybe it can get past. I'm not 100% sure. Good little punish though. Prism being a bit annoying, but not really executing any actual aggression. Going up to 7 gateways now. Fast Storm on the way. So real just turtley eco sort of focus here. Of course, Classic not really opting for any pressure. Like he could make Archons and do a Warp Prism Archon pressure, but it feels like he's just going to start Storm, make like a bunch Eye Templar, and then take a 4th base and play like Mega Macro. You can see Classic's kind of just chilling. Yeah, an Immortal and 2 Stalkers. He's like, I'll just go pick off whatever I can with this like real non-committal pressure. Serral's like, F you, mate. I'm going to go for Aspire. 4th hatch goes down. He's already up on 62 workers. Does need a handful more to fully saturate these 3 bases. Serral, of course, very worried about attacking me. He's going to go for Archons and Zealots with this. Ooh, but he showed nothing. That's the important thing. He left some units at home because he wants this to be a surprise. He wants to cancel that 4th and then recall out of there. So the look, he's Archon dropping the natural. These units running for a snipe. I mean, that's a bit crazy actually. I think that's way too ballsy. Oracles dive in. The Spore Crawler moved out of position. Oh no, Serral. Oh, behave. That was a big mistake, guys. Archons hit the natural. Oh god, Serral, what are you doing, buddy? Big missteps here from Serral in the ZVP matchup. It felt like things settled down for too long and he just assumed that Classic was going to be a naughty, greedy boy. But he wasn't. The Spire's almost done there. I like the recall, just nice conservative. Says, hey, I got 13 kills. I created some pressure on the map. Hells yeah, I've got my gas mining. My +2 is on the way. The fast Storm I was talking about would be madness, right? I was like, yeah, he'd just rush Storm. That's such a gimmick play because he wouldn't even have the supporting units for it. So the thing is, you can kind of do that against Terran a little bit more, but especially against Zerg, if you don't have the supporting units, it will not work out for you because they're just going to like come in with a surround of fast, mobile, cheap units. Like Storm's not good on its own. So you can tell my level by me going, I reckon he's going to rush Storm. And I was like, no, he's not going to do that. I was way too early. Now he'll make Storm. Of course, investing in Phoenix to counteract the expected Muta tech. Serral wanting to do a big Muta wave. +1. He'd love to do it, guys. He doesn't have any other tech. So I think he's going to go 20 Mutas all at once. And even though it's been scouted, yeah, he might actually just wait and just play Mass Roach Ravager in the meantime. This gets to be more and more of a gamble, though. 11 Mutas on the way. Holy shit, Serral's really swarm hosts. Yeah, Roach Muta. He's going to look for backstabs, look for map mobility. He's going to go Corruptors now. Seeing that the Phoenix count is already so... This is an awkward position. I don't know. I want to see what Serral does with this. I would feel very awkward where Serral is because he's being forced into vast numbers of Roaches. You're both getting closer to maxed out, which means at any point Classic pushes you. Well, guess what? Mutas and Corruptors don't kill a ground army. Like, how are you going to ever engage his ground army? If he goes straight for Hive and tries to just get to Broodlords off this, I can get behind it. And I feel like he kind of needs to do that and just turtle on 4 bases. He's going to take a 5th in the north. No, in some ways that makes more sense than this bottom one. Phoenix coming in, going to try and pick off a queen. Good transfuse, does save it. Phoenix take a bit of a bruising. The Mutas have hidden themselves this whole time, guys, and that's the real advantage of Serral's patience at this stage. Zealot, backstab, ready. Oracle! Oh, the Oracle's going to get the snipe! Dirty. An Oracle with enough energy. Oh, is it? It's almost out of energy. He's gonna get it. Oh my god, but the Muta's flying at the same time. Undefended mineral line, they hid till the last possible second. The Corruptors intercept the Phoenix as they come back. The Mutas are just like, haha. Na, ha, ha, ha. Doing some good damage at the same time. Zealots get in, but he does a big Zealot whoop in, and the Roaches are on top of it. That was a desperate move by Classic. He was like, oh shit, I'm surprised by these Mutas. Does a panic Zealot harass to try and pull attention home, but that's just free kills. The Roaches are on top of it. There's no other thing distracting the ground army. Serral's army was in position, and Classic ends up throwing away a ton of minerals. His Phoenix count is still at 6, so he has preserved the Phoenix count at least, but now he's in a bit of an awkward scenario where he's just lost a whole ton of probes, and Serral can actually get up to that late game. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not the perfect supply Muta Corruptor, but he's actually still investing in it. Oh man, I actually really struggle in the position that Classic's in right now. If you don't realize they're committing to this, it's so awkward because you're just suddenly like, whoa, Corruptors beat Phoenix. Ah, but then you need to keep building Phoenix or the Mutas will just jump in, and you're kind of wishing you just stuck on ground units against this sort of play. Of course, they never would have built the Corruptors if it was just ground units. Things get awkward either way, so wow. Serral gets the 4th, makes it work, man. Yeah, the range of strategies that comes out of Serral is so scary. And look at this. Great Aspire +2 melee. He goes straight for Adrenal Glands, Baneling speed. He's transitioning into that late game. He's like, yeah, I'll have like a Roach Ravager Baneling. We can go Broodlords and Infestors a bit later. Don't need it just yet. Classic's in big trouble. Not mining from that gas geyser properly. This base, he's accidentally pulled all the probes off mining. These Corruptors just keep looking for the angles. He's got to actually kill this gateway. In this scenario, you've got to actually kill your gateways so your Archons can move between bases. If you don't have Archons underneath the Phoenix, they get blitzed by the Corruptors. 77 workers, so that base is on 14. He's changed targets. He's gone down to this base after that top base got sniped. That Oracle, of course, doing a good job. Anion Pulse Crystals on the way, but there's no actual upgrades. That's a big problem. You've got +1 on these air units. You don't have upgrades as Classic on your Phoenix. Even Phoenix range, as nice as it is, it's not going to be the one-size-fits-all solution. And you've been kept off a 4th base long enough that Serral's just like, he's like, I want to trade some of these units out, please. He's trying to roll Banelings into Archons. He's like, yeah, 20 Banelings for 2 Zealots and some shields. Let's go. Classic's like, okay. He's like, yeah, I want to make Broodlords, dude. You see, notice how Serral kind of is, he's kind of like wanting to engage on the map to like trade out some supply, and he's massing spines and making broods because he realizes the ground army is still so scary. So he's like, just let me trade these units out. He wants to pick off Zealots. Yeah, that's the most efficient way he can do this. Just like Kite, pick off Zealot, Kite, pick off Zealot. The Phoenix, of course, just pick up half of them and shut them down. But at least this is more supply. So he's building more Corruptors right now, realizing, wait a second, that's a lot of Phoenix. I actually need anti-air. Because he's making broods and he's only got Mutas to protect them right now. So there's actually a window here where the Phoenix could technically jump in on that and kill all the Mutalisks and then start picking at the Broodlords. But 10 more Corruptors about to come out. The Muta supply is still so awkward right now. Spine's trying to move up to intercept. A lot of them not rooted right now. Uh-oh. This game's getting weird, guys. The Muta's going forward. The Phoenix with that Phoenix range upgrade doing good, but the Corruptors, when they get in front, they do a nice job. The Broodlords, of course, reigning supreme against the ground army. And the Stormu, is he going to go for a Stormu? Does get a Stormu on the Corruptor. The Corruptor is severely wounded. They all take about 60 to 70 damage. A couple more Storms go down, and the Archon and a High Templar fall behind this nice Zealot weapon on the left-hand side. Classic trying to do what he can, but he doesn't have a lot of money right now. And his economy is so bad, he does not have that 4th base. Banelings say, get wrecked, Zealots. These are my babies, I protect them. Good to see Serral keeping this game in charge, in control. He's got Burrow, +3 melee and Pathogen Glands. For those who don't know, flyer attack upgrades not bad for Broodlords, armor upgrades not bad for them either, for say protecting against Phoenix, Stalkers. Doesn't really help against Tempests. Armor upgrades not important against Tempests. They help tie it up a little bit against carriers as well. But a lot of people focus on flyer attack. Melee is a much bigger amount of the damage from a Broodlord. Upgrading the Broodling's damage is way more important than the actual flyer attack, because a Broodlord only does about 20 damage a shot, and it goes 22 with +1, 24, but it attacks very slowly. It's the Broodlings that spawn out that really get the nibblies on. Cannons down here. Too many Mutas, though. Too many Mutas, and that's a lot of Corruptors. Oh. 5 workers, damages the Nexus. Now, when you're on the retreat and you got to evade the Archons and the Storm, that's when, yeah, the Phoenix run forward, get some shots, pull back, turns around, good target fire, does snipe down a single Phoenix. Warp Prism in the open, nicely done. And yeah, mass infestors are on the way now. I kind of almost want to fast forward this game because Classic's so dead. He's got no bank. He's on 49 probes. Serral's got like everything he could ever want. Yeah, he's only on 64 drones, but he's got bank. His mutas are still trading effectively. Like, he's got 5 bases. I do want to see Serral rebuild his work account a little bit, but like, I don't even know if he needs to. One Baneling run by into this base, and Classic's like... I mean, he wants to pick off from afar using Revelation and then Tempests. But I think Infestors are going to ruin everything. Of course, Infested Terrans do not do as much damage. They were ignoring armor. I think they might have reduced their attack speed as well, right? Or did they? I think they just removed the armor. You guys can let me know. It was just the armor. Might have reduced the attack speed as well. Oh! Oh no! A lot of dudes go down. A lot of those probes lucky that Serral was a little bit distracted there. See how it goes. Yeah, they did actually reduce the attack speed as well. So Infested Terran's not the absolute annihilator of air units that they used to be. Spines on the left, ready. And, ooh, getting penetrated in many ways. Yeah, the Zealots try their best Zerg Chef impression. Not gonna pull it off though. Muta's going for the counterattack now. They're like, yeah. We've got to trade these mutas out. Serral really wants to put his supply into more effective units. Tempest's doing a good job here. Serral! He's got to watch out for those Phoenix. They might be able to disable the Infestors and jump on him. But goodbye worker line. Classic. It's this army. Make it or break it right here, right now. Picking away at it. Nice Fungal goes down. Corruptors run forward. Snipe one Tempest. They don't focus fire on the second one. They do take a bit of damage. Good Fungal's going down, but the Corruptors are going to be very wary of Storm. The High Templar pulling back out of Storm range. Still 1 or 2 High Templar left, but most of the Phoenix fall. And that's a good trade for Serral, who's able to immediately remax. His Muta's actually taking out the 4th base. As I said, make it or break it right here, right now. Classic knows he is down in the dumps. He's got to win with this army, and he's got to do it soon. Spine's moving forward. The Queen moves forward, brave as ever. There's an alpha of Chads in there, but one of them gets smashed immediately. The other one goes down to the Spore Crawlers. Corruptors spreading against the Storm, running through. I mean, the Storm's doing a good job. There's just not enough Archons underneath. The Broodlord's clearing everything on the ground. And behind this, of course, the Mutas have cleared up the 4th base. Classic was all in on this attack. And the Broodlords are going to send him packing. 12 pool versus Cannon Rush. What a way to start it off. Both of them coming out with some cheeky openings. But Serral does end up closing out the series closing out the map 1-0. And really cool that the Spire got spotted. And normally there's this whole thought process that goes on where you go, well, it's spotted. I've got to build Phoenix just in case he's a crazy person who still commits to it. But I'll get a few Phoenix and we'll maybe get a cannon or a shield battery here or there. We'll be fine. Rarely do they just not build units, start +1, macro up a little bit, and then build 20 mutas, and then start adding Corruptors to counter your Phoenix as well. And it's such an awkward position. So, I mean, we can see in hindsight how Classic would have dealt with that. Second Stargate, he would have got +1 air weapons. He would have gone straight for Fleet Beacon and got that Phoenix range. And he would have tried to be a little bit more on point with having some cannons or Archons spread between his bases. He would have knocked a gateway down at the front to keep his 4th alive. And he would have been super sexy. He would have been super tight with it. So going into map 2 here, we'll see exactly what happens. Will I cast the finals? Probably not today. This will probably be the last series I cast today, guys. But we'll be casting more. Tomorrow is my day off. But after that, this week, every day we'll basically cast a few series. Because like I said, I've somehow not been spoiled of the individual map results because I was away over the weekend. So I want to cast a whole bunch of the best of 1 maps. I want to, do more of that stuff. If you guys have any more questions, sorry I'm not scrolling up in chat that much. So if you guys do have any questions, anything you want my opinion on, please do let me know. I actually really appreciate it. So when we do a little rewind, as the game's getting towards the end, I want you guys to shout out questions in chat. Don't be afraid to repeat them if it seems I haven't seen it. Cranky Hero activated the bracket command. No, that's like can we... Can we clear the bracket command, guys? Oh, he's doing the cannon rush again. Sorry, guys, I didn't even realize. That's not a full wall. Drone can get through there. Right? Yes. No. Okay, no. Dirty. Yeah, so this is the fast robo cannon rush. He's actually forgotten to put a third worker on gas. I think that's a mistake. He's also only got one probe here. If that probe goes down, no, he brought a second probe. Okay. Yeah, last time it was it was Stats who could have destroyed Solar 4-0, and then he tried to do the worst cannon rush of all time where he only brought one probe. He doesn't have a third guy on gas. Is 2 actually enough to get out Immortal? I guess you just need 1 Immortal and then a Prism. Cool, okay. So basically with this, you set up a position, you get this insanely fast robo, because you're only showing the cannon rush at the last possible moment. Now, Serral's cancelled the hatch, gone across. He's going to do that. He's going to build a single spine. So sometimes people like to go 4 spine crawlers immediately, pull off gas, and just try to get rid of the position with like running a bunch of spines up. I'm really curious. Does he's going to surely inject. Or is he going to go creep? He might even save for transfuse. I think he's decided, okay, he needs to build an Overlord. Serral, you got to build an Overlord right now with that next lava. As soon as that lava pops out, get an Overlord right now. You can't make Ravages. He starts it. But he's not going to be able to make 3 Ravages straight away. It's going to be a bit of a wait. This is why it's really important to build that Overlord ahead of time. You can actually tank damage here because you'll return to full life. Once you do that, Overlord's going to pop and you'll morph the Ravages almost immediately. But the Immortal's already here. Yeah, no, the Queen goes down. She had a transfuse. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. That's so bad. Oh no, he was meant to transfuse the spine so he could sustain the damage because the shield battery's almost out of energy. That was the whole point. He needed to do that. Oh, that's really rough. Pick off these shield batteries right now. Good cancel by Classic there. I realized that was gonna go down. Once an Immortal's here, this is so hard. And all he needs to do is just keep building shield batteries. He's got a second Immortal on the way. The rest of his minerals just goes towards shield batteries. He's gonna go forward, clicks on that Ravager, nicely done. And yeah, he's just like, you can't get rid of me, man. I'm just gonna trade efficiently with these Immortals. And barrier even goes down. The Immortal here doing what it can. He's gotta get out. Gotta get out that Ravager. He's trying to focus fire it. He's back, regens the shields. We need more shield batteries from Classic. As the second Immortal gets here, it's going to be very powerful. Ooh, he's taking a lot of damage. It's good micro with the Ravages by Serral. The problem is Serral has no contingency. Oh no, he's got Roaches going in. He did actually manage to find the money for Roaches on the other side of the map. Well done, well done. So he's going to start sieging that down. Yeah, one of the best things you can do is force an Immortal to go home. If you can force them to like have to recall home, that's insane. Oh, he's just short of transfuse. That's the problem with losing that first Queen. Lost him this game. Oh no, because he was about to get another transfuse. Oh, losing that first Queen. It was everything. Oh, because if she was still around, she would have another transfuse by now. That Ravager would be healed. You'd be able to keep him off this high ground. I actually think Serral might have the perfect response here. Look at this, he's forcing units off at home. Oh, the cannon does survive, but look at that. This Roach Ravager is going to do a lot of damage, but there's 3 Immortals now, and he's lost the spine, he's lost the extra Queen DPS. That one's almost gone down. Oh, Classic, microing like a beast here. He somehow keeps the cannon alive. He's microing these Immortals, dodging the bios, picking up, dropping, and there's just too much firepower at this point. 3 Immortals just out DPSs that, and the probes are pulling there, ready to engage the Roach Ravager. They're trying to keep it back. Serral's like, God damn it. He's like, I should be able to kill your stuff. But just this, every second matters because he's just cracked Classic's economy. Classic cannot defend at home without recalling an Immortal, which is a disaster if you've got to do that. But he's just managed to crack through Serral on the front, barely in time. I cannot believe it. I really feel like with how well Classic executed that, you should lose as Serral. Because if you don't have a drone following that probe and you don't drone scout, you just let them get the pylon cage up, such a hard build to deal with. But it all comes back to that Queen. It all comes back to that Queen. I missed this series. So my friend Mike was telling me about this game. He was saying, oh, there's a game with this cannon stuff just looked so bullshit. He was like, yeah, it was really funny. In the interview, apparently, so I had no idea this was that game. It just clicked. At that moment where I realized, wait, losing that Queen led to this cascade of him falling apart. Is this Queen going down? Because he's purposely saving energy, knowing how important the transfuse is. And apparently Serral in the interview said, no, if I just kept the Queen alive, I would have been fine. And yeah, my friend was like, yeah, apparently Serral in the interview, he just said like, oh, if I just did this one little thing different with my Queen, I would have been okay, probably. And it's totally true. His response is perfect. Hatch on the other side. And the thing is, yeah, if you can start forcing minerals there, what's really amazing, right, is, well, you might be like, what if they just get cannon on the high ground? Overlord spots the high ground, you bile it down. So if they get a cannon, or then even a second cannon, or then an immortal, your Roach Ravager that's here, at any point can come back and collapse on this as well. So this is a common thing you can do. That's amazing. Define what a friend is, says Hellhacks. Oh, I just want to give you a big hug, Hellhacks. Oh, that's funny, man. That's it. That's it. That moment right there is where Serral lost the game. So that moment there, it's because if he's got to transfuse, look at this. Look at this. The Immortal just sits here and is like, lol, 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 lol. I also do think, like I said, that if he got the Overlord before the Roaches, like he shouldn't have saved 3 lava for the Roaches. If these were all in Ravager form, think about how fast that Immortal's draining this shield battery right now. So number 1, the Overlord. Number 2, the Queen. 2 mistakes from Serral that led to this being too bad. If he keeps the Queen alive to transfuse that, he's still fine here though. I'm convinced of that. Like if that Spine could have stayed in position, 2-part mistake. That's huge. But it's cool to see that Serral with his handling here. Because the thing is, once you bully that off the high ground, it can't come back in until the Prism's here, right? And then you start getting rid of these shield batteries, you get rid of that one, and you're like, oh yeah, and you're actually beating back, like he's only got 1 shield battery. That shield battery is really hard for him to use. He can drop the Immortal there and kind of pull back to that area. That's actually one thing I think Classic didn't do as much as he should have. I think he didn't use that shield battery as much as he should have. Pull back to there, poke forward, try to hit the drones. But I like the way Serral kind of said, well, you can go in there and hit my extractor and spawning pool. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna micro over here away from that left-hand side. But yeah, Classic didn't use that shield battery quite as much as he could have. Does use it to repair the cannons and should have used it on that pylon maybe as well. But yeah. Ooh. Ties it up 1-1. Cannon Rush 2 games in a row. Classic is one of the better pro gamer cannon rushes. Parting's the best, actually, at the moment. Parting is the best out of the top Koreans. Neeb occasionally pulls out a good cannon rush. Very occasionally, though. Neeb's the guy who's like, I do this 1 in 27 games so that it is never expected. You're like, all right. It's like when he does it, they're really surprised. All right, guys, up here in the top right, in the blue, representing NC Sports, it's Serral. Down here in the bottom left, it's Classic. And it is the semi-finals of GSL vs. the World. Thank you very much, Blizzard, for sending me these replays. Absolutely amazing. There were two pylons, not just one, guys. 2 pylons, yeah. It was not all powered by just 1 pylon. Oh, I just cracked my back. Lovely. So I don't think we're going to see a cannon rush again. We already see pylon on the low ground, so it'd be pretty unlikely. We do occasionally see like a weird eco cannon rush. It's going to be a gate scout. Serral here coming out with that drone. If he saw a probe coming in, he would continue to the 3rd base. And if the probe went in front of him, he would curl back and then drop the hatch. Of course, basically just getting the option there to already be halfway to the 3rd base if his opponent opted for a very early pylon block on this hatchery. But it is a 16 hatch opening up against a gate scout, gate into gas on the low ground. Super standard openings for both sides. The Classic's going to be the first one to come in here and see what happens. Oh! Thank you very much, Blake, for the 6-month resub. Been binge watching GSL vs. the World last few days. Good shit. Hells yeah, dude. Coffee to Theorems. Thanks for the 1-year resub. Way of the Gun with the 5-month. Plox gifted a sub to Waffles, yo, as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Guys, the support has just been insane lately. He fakes the gimmick rush. He fakes the cannon rush from the high ground. Does get 2 drones to come down. I like it. He's playing with his head now. He's like, yeah, what do you... Overreact, mate, overreact. Cancels it, puts the Nexus down. The Nexus, I think, was slightly delayed by the pylon resources being there, but only slightly. A couple seconds at most. Serral's like... Cool. So I believe Serral does a very similar scouting pattern to me, guys. So this other Overlord can come across and scout the gases on the natural potentially, and his first Overlord, is he going to skirt the edge like me? I think he'll hover there and he'll go straight into the main, assuming he sees an Adept coming out. So he's got this bit of high ground. This is the Pervert Pillar. those who don't know, overlords are perverts. You might be like, why? Look at that. They actually, I think, have more than 4 eyes normally, but you can see 2 eyes there, 2 eyes there. It's for extra perving. And because they float and just kind of hover, they like to hover on the pillar where they can't be seen. Indeed, we do have a perverlord emote. For those who can't see, that is indeed an overlord with a trench coat wearing sunglasses. That's this guy right here. Sees an adept come out. He's just going to hang, so he's not going to sack it. And he sent his ling, single ling long. But the adept stays home. Classic wants to deny scouting. So Classic here kept his probe on the map, which is trying to see if there's any zerglings flooding across for a ling flood. He's trying to confirm that he's not getting all in, right? Behind this, a robo very early, and this adept hanging back out of overlord vision. So I really like what he did was he threw a shade, ran backwards. So Serral kind of didn't know for sure if he committed to the shade or not to leave the base. And this ling, look at this ling. Waits for the adept shade to finish, it comes in. Classic's like, didn't let it finish, dickhead. Kills the zergling. And Serral's like, all right, you bloody bastard. Oh, it's the disruptor drop into Colossus, 2-base all-in. Beautiful build order. It doesn't have to be a 2-base all-in, but almost always off this opening, this is the disruptor drop into Colossus all-in. You guys would see me doing this a bit. Whenever people request disruptor drop in Twitch Plays Pig, I've done this a bunch in the last few weeks. I do it like shit though. But Classic, I'm sure, will do it a lot better. He might even go Colossus. You almost never see that against Zerg, but if he does go Colossus drop, I mean, you can pick off drones pretty quickly. They do very good verse light damage. Meanwhile, Serral, a really quick Lair and Roach Warren, and he's going to drop 2 more gases. This is your standard. I know I'm up against a Robo Twilight. I'm going to play safe against it. Now, you'll notice he's kind of assuming it. He's got the Zergling and the Overlord ring, so if he sees an Oracle leave the base, he would immediately drop Spores. But because he has a 100% Ring of Vision, he's saying, I'm not going to build blind Spores because I don't need those Spores if it's a Robo or Twilight. I think it's probably that. So we're going to react as if it's Robo Twilight, even though my info's being denied. And look at this. The Lings come in from both sides, sees the Prism, and he says, okay. All right, a little bit of Prism harass. All right, you dirty little boy. The Prism's going to turn around, right, though? He's getting speed and a second Disruptor. That Prism turned around a bit late there, I think. Oh, he's just going to wait for 2 Disruptors. 2 Disruptors can one-shot Queens, but I would always rather go for drones. Against Serral, though, a player of his level, I don't know if you're ever going to actually hit drones with it. Like, you might get like 1 or 2 drones a shot. It's pretty rare you'll get more than that. And oh, it's this build! It's the double star. Oh my god, this is such a big boy build from Classic. He's going Speed Prism, double Disruptor drop into double Stargate and Colossus. Is it a macro? It's got to be a macro build, but is it 2-star Phoenix? I can only imagine it's 2-star Phoenix. You know what would be super cool is 2-star Oracle? I don't even know. Oh my god, this is going to get weird. It's going to get weird real fast. He's going to go for the queen kills. So he's just going to click on 1 queen, does take her out, picks up and leaves. Not bad. You don't mind that as Serral though. This is a big investment. Losing a queen, you're like, whatevs. 3rd base goes down. Phoenix Oracles. Phoenix. Show me your Phoenix. Classic says, no worries. I'm not afraid to show you, but only once I have a large growth of those Phoenix. And Disruptor drop does get ferried out. He's a bit slow on his shots that time. I think he'll wait for 6, maybe 8, and then show them. So the last thing you're expecting here is Serral, dude. Serral's like, let's try and get some scouting info. I think this Overseer will see it, though, for sure. That Stalker zoned it out initially. Sees the Colossus. No! Because he sees the Colossus, so he's like, that's all I need to know. Because no one would go Colossus Phoenix. He doesn't even know about the 3rd base. Serral's gonna freak out. He's gonna be super afraid. He's building lots of roaches. He's trying to go Aspire. I mean, Corruptors could work versus this, but we saw in that previous game that like it wasn't the best. In that Classic kind of wanted to go 2-star Phoenix. So if he sees Corruptors and goes fast enough Fleet Beacon, maybe gets a +1 air upgrade, adds some Chads in, could work out. +1 air upgrade. Do you reckon he goes Colossus, just straight Sky Toss off this? Surely not. He's not building any more ground units right now. Oh. He damages a queen and kills a roach. He's really achieving almost nothing with his Disruptor drops, guys. It's actually really shitty. I don't even bother with Warp Prism speed when I do this. I just go across with 1 Disruptor. He's committed so much and he's done so little, but this is the real kick. Oh, 7 Mutas just started. Oh no. Serral has to very quickly run those mutas to the back corner and just be like, oh god. Like his queens are all out in the open, man. His mutas, oh, okay. I like that he's using his mutas to help protect the queens. Ah, the queen with the transfuse energy goes down. Oh god. Oh god. He's trying to build corruptors. Ah! Ah! Oh no. I mean, the queens are doing some good damage. He doesn't even have spores right now, though. Serral's just like... Ugh. He's not even going to build them. He's making a conscious decision to not build spores. He said, nah, it's too late. Just build corruptors. The spores aren't gonna, like, what am I gonna do, build 10 spores? He's like, no, I just keep building corruptors and drones, and I'll be able to match that count at some point. Disruptor drop coming in. Oh, the queens. So one queen goes down. There's only 4 Phoenix left. He's going Chads and he's going for a fleet beacon. He's got a Colossus. He just dies. He's trying to make blink because he's dead. And these disruptors have to hit the roaches in a big way. He's trying to build cannons and batteries because like his Phoenix can't contest the corruptor count. If he can get a third and a fourth, if he can get the second alpha of Chads out, he can survive. Okay, I mean, Serral didn't commit to... I actually think if Serral committed to a big attack, he might have just killed him, right? Because if he just clicks on the Void Rays, then the Colossus, then the Phoenix with the Corruptors, and then he can go and piss on a base, and his Roaches would just like jump on top of everything. I guess with the slow fields, it's kind of hard to attack on this map. He's going to play the safer way. 75 drones, 4th mineral line looking real healthy, +1 Malo. He's got the +1 Malo upgrade, guys, Bane Nest. And that's going to be really good versus Stalkers, right? And Void Rays, just having a ton of melee lings. A single Spore here to zone out the edge. 10 Corruptors is going to be more than a match for these 4 Phoenix. A 5th and 6th Void Ray are on the way. So this is where unit compositions and strengths get really interesting. For any newer players, what's so great about these games is you've got all these units that are very specific. So Void Rays, or Chad Rays as I like to call them, super powerful anti-armored units. Very good when they turn on their activatable spell, their Prismatic Alignment. It gives them 14 seconds of big bonus damage versus armored. It basically doubles their damage. I guess versus armored, it gives like about a 40% bonus, 40, 50, 60% bonus, something like that. Some big ass boost, a big old chunk of damage. But they're very weak versus light units because they don't get that bonus, and they're very expensive and clunky, and often the opponent can kind of threaten to engage. You turn on the Prismatic Alignment, the Zerg disengages, and then when they're on cooldown and they're not ready to turn it on, you just re-engage and you focus them down. But he's building so many of them. They're also very weak versus Hydras, right? There's no Hydras though. There is Mass Corruptor commitment for Serral. So there's going to be a real weird fight where if there's enough Corruptors, they can just snap the Void Rays real quickly, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's actually going to need to use Ravager Biles to force the Void Rays to move. Because if the Void Rays are able to just stand their ground and shoot, they're going to annihilate this. I think he could have got that Nexus. Just a little bit afraid of the force fields coming in. A little bit afraid right now. Big army here, guys. It's 15 Corruptors, no upgrades on them. He's trying to go for Hive and Pathogen Glands right now. More and more Void Rays on the way here. Uh-oh, Warp Prism gets caught out. There we go, double Prismatic Alignment on those two. The other ones did not turn it on. Oh god, Biles actually almost kill a Void Ray and do some big damage to a Stalker as well. As I said, yeah, the Biles there are what's going to kind of keep him alive. He needs to go Infestors. Now, both Parasitic Bomb and Fungal Growth, really good area of effect damage spells from Infestors or Vipers. Both tech trees which are being opened up for Serral can destroy Mass Void Ray. So Classic needs to diversify. He can't stay on Mass Void Ray. As the game goes longer and longer, they're just not the best unit. Oh, Bigling Bane backstab. Bigling Bane backstab. He's got to warp in a sentry. Good warping. Doesn't achieve much. Does pull him out of position a little though. Oh, the Disruptors! Oh, Classic a little bit slow. Does throw one zoning shot. Nice focus fire on those Corruptors. Does take out a Void Ray. Behind this, Infestors on the way. +1 air weapons, +2 melee. Neural Parasite is on the way. Swapping to Infestors and Zerglings. Zerglings great versus Disruptors. High Templar, Stalkers, all that stuff. Oh, I didn't replace the unit in the wall. Lings in the main. There's 2 cannons. As long as he doesn't... Oh, is he going to get that? No. Oh my god, these +1 melee Zerglings do so much damage! That Templar Archives is gonna go down! Storm does finish. So it's not as bad as it could have been, but at the same time, Banelings roll in, grab the juicy center of a bunch of those units. And yeah, Serral's just kind of trading out these low value units in small engagements where he can. He's trying to get, oh, 2 Vipers on the way. He's already got a whole pack of Infestors. Oh! Classic turns around, dodges the bile. But yeah, look at this. He's trying to buy time with the Lings. If he can get those Vipers out, they're out. Both Vipers are out of the map. He's got to suck energy right now. They're sucking hit points off that hatchery to refill their energy reserves. The special ability of the Viper coming into play there. Lings getting into the mineral lines. A big Zealot Warpin's going to clear that, but losing probes on the 4th base. Classic's economy not that big. A couple of Infestors there, potentially in trouble. The Vipers do not have Parasitic Bomb yet. He accidentally broke their first consume. He needs to let that consume finish. He needs 125 energy. Oh, he's going to get the 4th base. Big snipe here, and you can see Classic desperate. He's under pressure. Disruptor Shop goes out, doesn't really get anything, gets a creep tumor, and that's it. And guess what, guys? This base does go down. A nice snipe off by Classic, but that's a good choice by Serral. Don't engage until you're ready. Just waiting for these energy units, and if he can land the Parasitic Fungal combo, lock him in place with the Fungal, get the big splash damage with the Parasitic Bomb. Is he going to be able to land it? He wants these units to clump up. He wants these units to clump up. Oh, the Disruptor Shot doesn't go towards the Infestors, only gets a Ravager. Oh, the other Disruptor way too far forward. Big storms. Fungal goes down. Parasitic Bomb Fungal combo on top of the Chad Rays. Oh, the Colossus doing good damage from behind. Is it going to be enough? We've only got Zerglings to reinforce here, but they'll be great against the Stalkers. The Corruptors finish off the Void Rays, finish off the Colossus. The Infestors fall back. There's still a little bit. Oh, he's actually about to get 2 more Psystorms. He's going to try and win here with Blink Stalker, Psystorm. 44 Zerglings and 2 Roaches about to remax. Is it going to be enough? He gets on top of the High Templar. They do go down. He kind of storms his own units a little bit, but I think he might actually barely hold on. It's +2 melee Zerglings versus +2 Blinkstalkers. Drones pulled off the line. Queen's here. Lings coming in. The Infestors waiting for fungal growth. Oh, they get jumped on. They have to use Infested Terrans, which actually trap those Stalkers. Oh, Infested Terran force field. Nicely used there. These Stalkers blinking around, doing damage to the economy. Serral's economy not quite what he'd want. He went over and tried to pee on that Nexus, but there was 4 cannons ready and waiting. Uh-oh. Charge Zealots coming in. Stalkers coming forwards. Classic desperate. He's rebuilt his 4th behind this. He's rebuilding his Templar Archives. He's got so much gas, but he's unable to make Archons because of the Templar Archives snipe. He never replaced the Templar Archives. Imagine if he was making Archons to reinforce those Stalkers. There's no way Serral would have broken through there. It was almost pure Ling, a couple Roaches, a couple drones. That's insane. If he actually managed to morph in Archons, I think Classic wins the game there. That's so frustrating. Look, now his Templar Archives finish. Makes a ton of High Templar, bunch of Archons. He's getting his 4th back up. Classic's still in it with a shot here, but that Infestor count is growing. We've got 6, 8 Infestors on the way. Is there a Greater Spire? There is not. I actually think Classic is in an okay position if he can just stabilize most of the supplies in Roaches and Lings for Serral, and his economy is kind of weak, 58 drones. So as many Infestors as he's building, I mean, that sounds great. He's got more army supply right now, but it's mostly Roach Ling, a couple of Corruptors that cannot transition into anything else. I like Adrenal. Ling backstabs are definitely his way potentially back into this game. Ling's running in this side onto this base. That's a prime target. His army's focused there. Into the main to snipe some techs and pylons could also be another good value target. Banelings! Serral's like, crap, he spotted our Banelings, so he burrows them to try and hide them. He's got a burrowed Zergling blocking that expansion. Zergling spotters there. We've got another Warp Prism there. So Classic wanting to do some 2-pronged pressure. Look at that! Uses the Archon splash damage, attacks his own Archons, takes out the Banelings with the splash. Sexy boy Classic there. Nothing gets me more aroused than seeing someone using splash damage on their own units to kill some burrowed things. I have a condition called nerd arousal. I get excited by high-level StarCraft play, guys. Some call it a problem. I call it a gift. I'm here to share that passion with all of you. Greater Spires on the way. Tempest's already here, though. We've already got 2 out, 2 more on the way. It's going to be, I mean, there's a lot of Infestors gathering energy. The fact that Serral was able to invest in so many Infestors and they're going to gather energy. He's got Neural, he's got Pathogen. He can make some Broodlords. I actually think there was probably a window where Classic could have pushed through, because this army is pretty soft, guys. I mean, I get Classic wanted to sit back, rebuild his economy. Ooh! Baneling run base getting shut down. Another cannon up here would be very useful. Leaving 1 or 2 Zealots in front of your bases is also really useful to spot incoming Baneling run bys. Just 1 or 2 Zealots, very good at charging it. You want to go full Legacy of the Void intro cinematic. Now he's sending probes down here. But that burrowedling being a big dick. Pain in the ass there. Big old pain in the ass, that Zergling. Love to see him unburrow and kill some stuff. First 4 Broodlords are on the way now. Trying to take this base is Serral. He realizes he can't stretch himself too thin. So he's kind of just saying, look, this is my corner. We're going to rotate our army between these bases. We're going to spread creep in front of it and protect this area. Keep our economy up. And I believe I have the most godlike late game. So you can't deal with it. Finally, the Zergling gets cleaned up. Uh-oh. Serral there, not able to do too much. Warp Prism up in the top left. Gonna spot those Zerglings. Of course, that's the one that was in the bottom right, but it rotated. Few Zealots gonna come in here. Could snipe this base. Gonna get the Baneling Nest on the left-hand side. Broodlord's doing a good job. Tempests have got to be careful. They do cancel that hatch. Big Zealot warp in, but the Roaches are there. Good cancel, good cancel. You guys ever want to cancel a warp in? Just unsiege the prism. It'll cancel that warp in. You'll get your money back. Excuse me, guys. Tempests still building in very large numbers. Classic's like a bit of a Tempest fiend, and I really feel this lost in one of those maps against Special in the previous round. I think he's got to be a bit careful going too high on the Tempests. How many High Templar have we got in here? 6. 5 Archons. It's not a bad army. Nice Neuroparasite. Fungal combo. Ooh, where's the Broodlords though? Where's the Broodlords? Nice Neuroparasites though. Oh, lovely. Pulls them forward so the Broodlords can focus them down. Tries to fungal it, but it was still under his control, so the fungal doesn't land. Says, hey, that's a friendly unit. I don't affect friendly units. Zealots on the top side. So Classic's going to try to pick away. Doesn't have an Oracle right now. You see he's queuing up 2 Oracles because he can't, he needs the vision. He needs to tag that army with Revelation. 8 Zealots coming in. Serral always so well prepared for this sort of stuff, man. Very happy having a big squad of low tier units out on the map. Prism tries to fly through the center. Classic just can't find an opening, can he? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, watch out for the fungal, Classic. Gotta watch out for that, man. Cannon's up there. There's only one pylon powering the whole thing, and Serral's gonna jump on it. There should be a warp in ready here for Classic, but look at that. Oh no! Artosis. Oh, good storm, good storm. Zones out most of those infestors, but they're still tagging some of these air units. Ooh, nice recall. These units do get out of there. Saves the base as well at the same time, of course, so a very important save. Corruptors run forward, get a Tempest. Broodlords do take out a High Templar. An Oracle goes down. Oh, we'd love to snipe. He gets another Oracle. Those are high value targets, guys. Oracles are not cheap. Getting those Oracles in the late game, really useful. There's not that many Corruptors, and yet he's picking off lots of Tempests with them. Serral is bullying Classic back. Serral, oh, Classic's unit's not quite together. That last High Templar, okay, 2 more full energy High Templar come forward, but Neuroparasite going down on some of these Tempests. They're taking out their own friendly units. Infested Terrans coming forward, and this Infestor control is out of this world. Even the Chad Rays getting stolen as well, and still 14 Infestors standing strong. Now Carriers are joining the fray. Stalkers blink forward. They're going to try and take out the Broodlords, but oh, good fungal growth there. And a nice little engage here. He's trying to just take out all of these Broodlords, but Neuroparasite comes forward. He's going to cloak his own Broodlords. Haha! Steals a Tempest as well. They do so much damage to each other. Both Tempests actually being stolen and brought back over here. The Carriers have been stolen as well. Is there enough anti-air? He needs more Infested Terrans. He's trying to steal his own units. Serral frantically queuing up attack moves. He's telling his units to attack each other as quickly as he can. The amount of micro you need in this situation when you've stolen everything on the screen is insane. And he does manage to take everything out. The Zealots over there start to run in. Classic losing all of his high-tech units. There's still 14 Infestors, 8 Corruptors, and 2 Broodlords standing strong. Roachling on the ground. Classic Zealots unable to find the soft underbelly of the Zerg. Serral showing his supremacy in the end game. Classic needs to transition those workers. He's going to try and take this base. This base here is open. That's +3 melee. Adrenal Gland Zerglings, guys. Oh my god, their damage output is insane. 2 Zealots not going to cut it. Yeah, Serral's like, wait, only 2? Turns around. Oh god. Savage. Savage butchery there. Roach Ravage is going to run in here. They're going to go for a little bit of a backstab. Finding a bit of a probe rally, not bad. Zealots are going to jump on top of them. Tempest's going to slowly clear this, but Roaches are on top. Zerglings. Look at that damage output. That base goes down. Roaches are in the mineral lane. The other Roach Ravager pulls back, but these roaches running rampant. Classic. His base has been ravaged. His shit's gone to hell, man. He's had his shit kicked out. I love the Disruptor drop into 2 Stargate Phoenix. It's such a hilariously weird opening that can throw the Zerg into a very confusing place, but Serral, you know, he seemed to handle the whole opening really well. His Muta Queen defense didn't panic and build spores, just went straight into Corruptors, handled it as best he could, stopped the Phoenixes from doing crippling damage, and exploded into this next tier of the game. Classic almost broke him as well with that big push earlier, but not quite able to crack through. No detection here. Observer finally arrives. And here come the Infestors, trying to land some fungal growth. Does dive a bit far forward there. The Corruptors do have to disengage. Bit too much storm coming forwards. His Infestors are going a bit too far forward. He doesn't have that many Broodlords. And he was actually... Looks like he might have been target firing the Broodlords on the High Templar rather than the Zealots. But GG, damn. That was a really cool build though from Classique. Very cool build, dude. I don't think he did as much with it as he would have liked, though. Yeah, maybe he could have sent 2 Adepts across the map to join up with it. So, like, as he drops, he shades 2 Adepts into the 3rd. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's just a cool build. Serral had no idea it was coming. His Overseer poked in and was like, oh, you're going Colossus? Cool. All right, I'll go some Mutas. But this whole handling at this stage of the game, where Serral kept disengaging with the Mutas, the Phoenix would pick up the Queen, or go to pick up a Queen, the Mutas would re-engage, pull back, re-engage, pull back. And this is allowing the Queens so much more time to just output their damage, and that's why we've seen 1 or 2 Phoenix fall. That's why the rest of the Phoenix are deep in the orange and red. He even loses 1 more here, I think. Maybe not. But yeah, it's just good crisis management straight into Corruptors, and then rather than going for that Corruptor Roach timing that I would have been tempted to do, he just chills out and kind of goes into the next stage of the game. So impressive play from Serral. Does take the lead 2-1. For those of you wondering how to deal with Neural, a lot of the time Disruptor shots are one of the big tools in the zoning late game. To be honest, even if my opponent has Broodlords and Infestors, my way of fighting it is I might get a few Tempers to be like, hey, I'm playing the air game. But what I would actually do is build 20 gateways, and I would just send mass Blink DT Zealot in from every angle repeatedly. I'd be like, I'm not gonna try to micro Tempest, Disruptor, Storm, Archon, Mothership. You guys are crazy. So those guys are like, so should I add 6 Disruptors or 4 Disruptors? I'm like, are you God? And I'm like, what do you mean, Pig? And I'm like, I can't control that army. Classic looked like he was struggling with that army. No offense, random Twitch chatter. I don't think you can. I don't think you can handle it. Do what I do. A-move Master Zealot DT in from both sides of the map while pretending your main army is actually a threat. That's like my whole thing. I'll just be like, nah, man. I've gone Double Forge. I'm just going to send Prisms in the back of their base and queue up Zealot charges and shit. I'm not going to try and fight them with Micro against Infestor Broodlord. Hells no. And then if they split their army up, then I'll jump on them on the front. But it's all just, I try to drown Zerg players, man. If they try to go to that turtle shit, I just try to drown them. Usually I can do it as well. Usually I feel very comfortable. Either hitting the pre-Broodlord timing attack or getting a big enough lead and momentum that I kind of drown them in Zealots, man. I swarm the Zerg player. When they start swapping away from traditional Zerg to like fancy high-tech units, I'm like, no, I'm Protoss, that's my job. You want to do role reversal? I'll do role reversal, and I just make a shitload of Blink DTs and Zealots and stuff, and just run in from all sides. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You can even use Archon run-bys. Like, it's actually really sick when you bring in like 2 speed prisms in the back. You drop 4 Archons in their base, and all their Ling Bane comes back to deal with it. You guys ever see 4 Archons wedged in a mineral line with Zerglings trying to dislodge it? It's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. It's one of the funniest things. It's great. It's amazing. And you kind of need to do that because otherwise adrenal gland Zerglings can be great. So anyways, there's lots of details that go on, but I would never, I don't know if I'm just not ambitious enough or maybe I'm simply humble enough and I respect the pros enough. I would never try to play that late game the way like Classic tried to do it there. It's so fancy and complicated. That's hard, man. That's very hard. It's a pleasure to watch, though. It's a pleasure to watch. So yeah, 2-1 lead for Serral. Gigantic map again. What does Classic do? Just a Stargate opening this time. Okay. And you're gonna notice Serral lately doesn't even like to do two sneaky lings. He does a Serral ling lately. Single ling long. And he leaves the 3 lings to deal with the probe. If you have 3 lings, it's a bit easier to get through a pylon if they throw it down. So if they try to do something like a cybercore block. So maybe that's actually the adjustment. Maybe he's like, oh yeah, if I only have 2, they can go pylon. Then they come back and drop a cybercore. My 3rd gets delayed too long. Some newer players might not actually be familiar with that. You might have never seen a cybercore block on a Zerg's 3rd. Try it out if you're a Protoss player. It's really fun to watch the Zerg just go, Rah! Cybercore has 1,100 hit points. Takes a long time for them to clear. It's not necessarily always worth it, cost for cost, but it frigs up their build. Zergling sees everything, by the way. This is the Serral Ling. Such a legend, the Serral Ling, man. Sees everything always. Oh, good pullback on that drone just before it went down. Nice Spore Crawler trick. Ooh, but now the drones are fighting on their own versus an Adept. Oh, she's got free reign. Good. Oh, notice how he keeps changing targets at the last second with the Adept. The Adept, she's facing one way and she shoots another way. Does go down, gets a drone and forces a ton of Spore Crawlers out, guys. That's huge damage. That was amazing. So I think Serral's decided let's keep that Spore and put an extra Queen in the main to deal with the Oracle. Let's see. He might delay this Spore till 410. He's going to send a drone over to the 3rd in just a second and he's going to build a Spore there immediately. He just did it then. You could see his clicks on the ground. Yeah. Still gets it pretty early at 355. Zergling's just posturing around, and he's even going to follow the Oracle. I like this. He's like, I want to see what angle you come from, but Classic kind of goes over the high ground, and the Zergling's like, where are you? So the details here are insane. Serral's saying, if I know which angle you're coming from, I can have my queens waiting on the edge, and you won't even get a single worker. And the Oracle always wants to get 1 worker, maybe 2 on the first wave, come back in, do a bit more, and look at these lings. He's like, I'll see where you come from. Spots them. Drones are in the open though. Queens are on their way over. He's gonna have to do some tricks. Yeah, extractor trick. Spore Crawler. Classic's like, fuck you, man. Still does cost something for Serral, but saves all the workers, does a bit of damage to the Oracle. Nicely done. Just a 2 Oracle opening. This is not stats build. This is a more classic opening, guys. Get it? Classic. 6 gateways. He's actually committing to the full 7 or 8 gateways. Charged out Archon. He's actually pulled a dude off gas, puts it back on gas. I don't even know. Will he bother with the Templar Archives? He's only got a 3rd gas there. Maybe, maybe not. Ooh, Adept's gonna slide in this time. Oracle's in the main at the same time. Oh! Nicely done. Good focus fire. There was a moment where the Oracles darted out of Spore range, trying to get the Spore to change targets, and darted back in. Either Serral's a god, remind me to check 5 minutes 10, and he retargeted in that time while dealing with the Adepts, or it simply didn't have time to properly acquire the new target of the Phoenix, and it just went, and they came back in too early. I want to double check 5 minutes 10, Oracle Spore Crawler interaction. Remind me, Twitch chat. Remind me. Zerglings. Oh, sentry's in the open. No. Go back, Serral. Don't go in. Don't go in there. It's a trap. Once they get into the choke point, that's a Zergling trap for sure. Those Zerglings getting a little bit stuck on each other. Prism coming across. Is there a Templar Archives, guys? So Zealot Sentry all in? The fudge? He's gonna make Stalkers with this as well. Serral's building a spine. He just cancelled a structure. I think it might have been an Evo. He's building a spine. He's like, oh shit. You're not even going for a 3rd. It's 6 minutes. I've gone to 57 drones. Serral knows he's been a greedy boy. Now it's a 2 Oracle Phoenix build, so you can afford to be a bit greedy ahead in the work account. But right now it's pure Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings, Queens, Spine, anything he can do to get out units to survive. Look at that. Oh, lovely stasis. And that actually lowers his gas mining. Real important right now. Serral has not really started mining off this fourth gas yet. Tries to put up the emergency Evo chamber wall. Biles on top of the Zealots land big time. Oh, Serral with the emergency setup. Transfuses landing on the Roaches and Ravagers. Is it going to be enough? Transfuses on the Queens. The Oracles come in from behind, but he retargets the Queens. He shift clicked those on the Oracles. Beautiful play by Serral. Is it enough though? Another round of Zealots coming in. Oh man, the sentries are out of energy at this point. The force field's kind of working against him. He wants to get on top of the dregs of this army. Is it going to be enough? The drones are being forced to evacuate. Serral's in trouble, but he's got a rally getting together, and that's what he needs. Enough Roaches to start volleying down these Zealots. Move and shoot, scoot and shoot. That's the name of the game here. And they're going to get on top of the sentries. The Roaches get on top of the Zealots being distracted by the rally on the left-hand side. He's going to go for the main base. Classic. He says, I've got rid of the mining on your third. If I get rid of the mining in your main, then I am on top of it. But he cancels that warp and he gives it up. He starts immortal production. He says, shit, it's not going to work. Decides to back off. Just too many of his Zealots were unable to retreat. If he could pull those Zealots back on the front, get the full warp in the main, I think he could have hit the third by coming back in and overwhelmed potentially in the main at the same time. But Serral there, the Evo wall really buying in the time he needs. At this point, he has a massive lead. He's even managed to squeeze Zerglings through this Zealot. Gets 2 Zerglings on the other side of it. It's going to start working on this. And yeah, Serral's like, 1 immortal? Dude, that does not kill Zerglings very quickly. We're going to kill all of these buildings. Unfortunately, does not target fire. Zealot warp in, takes aggro. Classic tries to do a sentry drop, traps 2 drones in a glass cage for fear. And those in glass houses shouldn't throw minerals, is a saying. People always wonder, they go, what the fuck does that even mean? But the drone's like, you just wait till you've been sentry dropped. Then you'll know. I once was in a game. We'd survived the immortal. The Zealot all in with the sentries. They force fielded my mineral pile. It was fucking weird. I watched my 2 friends trapped. It's like having, you guys ever had a police officer come up to you at nighttime? You know how they always like shine the super high powered light in your eyes? To like fucking disorient you. It's like the worst thing. I hate that so much. Always triggers me. I'm like, can you not? And they're always like, and you're like, I'm sure there's some good reason for you to do this, but it's really, it's what I feel like dying to a sentry is like. You've just got like 20 police around you with like lights shining in your eyes. And you're like, no, I've never been arrested. How could I, dude? Bully hunters almost got me one time, but they're just about the only people with jurisdiction over the internet. All they do is sit at home playing video games. And since I evaded arrest from the bully hunters, so I'm all good, man. All good. In the hood. Classics. Is he dead? What's his way of getting back into this game? So he's not building. He's building probes. He's making a forge, so he's going to start a +1 at 10 minutes into the game. I think he's got a chance, guys. I mean, the way he does this is this Archon drop needs to kill 6,000 to 7,000 more resources, and then he's back in the game. Serral's got a 4th mineral line that he's saturating. He's gone up to 74 drones versus 50. Bane speed, Ravagers, +1 melee, and an infestation pit. Now, I think he's just going to go infestors and broodlords and stuff. It's kind of cool to see that like Ravager Baneling, Roach Ravager Banelings kind of come back in this time period of so many crazy sentry timings, charge lot timings, immortal attacks, like just all sorts of these weird, different attacks from the Protoss that have been catching Zergs off guard. They're like, yeah, going straight to Hydra Bane, it's a fool's errand. It's crazy, dude. Like, there's just no need. Ravager Bane keeps you so much safer. When you're on this tech, you see an attack, even if it surprises you, you go, oh shit! You turn 10 of your Roaches into supercharged Roaches, aka Ravagers, which might not be the best spellcaster in the game, but it is nonetheless a goddamn spellcaster that you can just make instantly in almost no time, and it's good stuff. No, I live in Australia, guys. I've never been tasered either. They haven't shot me in the crotch with a taser. No, they haven't maced me either. Yes. The flashlight is our equivalent of police brutality. You come to Australia, they're like, police brutality. He left the torch shining in my eyes for 6 seconds. 6 seconds. I had a minor headache, and when I was blinking, a minute later, I could still see the lights. It was, yeah, it's not America, guys. It's a bit different here. No one has like weapons or anything. There's like 36 people on the entire continent. Everybody knows each other. The Prime Minister's sitting in his swimming pool next door, out back. It's... Oh! Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Good force fields. Oh my god, Classic's crisis management. Holy shit. Classic's a god, guys. He just went full Boromir. He got surrounded by like 36 orcs. And he actually killed like half of them. Turns out there's too many though. Too many Uruk-hai. Heroic. Heroic though. That was a heroic engage. Still dead. But really good play by Classic this series. I like the build orders. Serral is a god. As we've known for a long time. It's very hard to beat. Oof. The Biles actually landed in the top of that Nexus. And GG, well played. Really, really lovely. I wanted to check, what was it, 5 minutes? Oracle Spore interaction. So, the Spore has been clicked onto the Oracles. Now, I feel like they go just out of range. Ah, it just changed targets to the other Oracle. The other Oracle never fully left range. Yep. So I think that would have worked really well if he actually... Because I don't think Serral's vision was here. Let's look at this from Serral's point of view. Bringing the Queen over. Yeah, he didn't have the Spore selected at any point there. So, it's a real small thing. It's not the most impactful. It's just cool to understand the minor details, right? So basically, he came in. I also think he actually came in without the Phoenix in front. So the Spore didn't even need to be target fired. It was already shooting an Oracle. Now, the problem here is if he went just a little bit further right, that Spore would have only had the Phoenix to shoot at. It would have automatically started shooting the Phoenix. So if he moved just a tiny bit further, then he could have come back in and focused down a ton of these drones. Now, is that the correct move? I think if you're playing Mr. Plebsicle in Platinum League, for sure, every time. For me, caster level, probably work out quite a bit of the time since there's other things going on, so my opponent's a bit distracted. Serral, probably not going to work that much. By the time you pull out and go back in, he's probably targeting the Spore on you manually anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just kind of cool to look, and I just wanted to pay attention because I was like, oh, didn't they go out of range? How is the Spore still shooting them? And I was like, oh no, it changed targets from like one to the other. So that's fine. Yeah. Good play. I mean, the all-in as well. Such a weird all-in. So many force fields. Kind of sad he didn't find a way to get an Immortal in this, right? Would have been super cool if you could somehow get an Immortal over here by this time. But this wall-off was huge, guys. It was huge. So the problem is, if he doesn't fight here, you might be like, oh, shouldn't he just pull back over here and wait for more roaches? It's like, well, his third's dead for sure. And Classic, if he's like, oh, you're going to not even defend it, he might actually start probing and building Immortals and taking gas and a Forge behind this straight away and say, just killing a third's good enough. And it kind of is. It's not the best, but it's playable. You know, as long as you hang around and don't let the Zerg get it for a third. Because if the Zerg actually comes and tries to fight you in this area, it's easiest force fields of your life. Protoss is like, lol, come fight me. Fight me in the choke point, dickhead. Even here, it's pretty simple force fields, right? That the Bile's landing, because all the Zealots were stacked up. Huge, man. You're not meant to be able to hit Zealots with Corrosive Bile. But he actually managed to do it quite well. Yeah, there's still an argument for he should have broken force fields and stutter stepped a bit more. But I guess because Queens can't really stutter step, he said, let's just stand my ground, use the Biles offensively. Loses quite a few drones on the way through. Oh, not that many. Only 3. His Phoenix like, I'm contributing. GG. Well played by Serral, guys. That was sick, man. That was sick. GG, well played. And that was kind of incredible. Great play on both sides. Serral takes it 3-1, goes through to the grand finals up against the winner of the other series. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Don't forget, if you do want to support, check out the Patreon down in the info section below. Subscribe and click the bell icon for notifications if that's still a thing. I don't know, dude. I'm still living in 2012 with me me Gorilla Channel memes and shit. So anyway, thanks for hanging. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna do more casts spread over the next week. So lots more GSL versus the world to come. GG.